I figure if I'm going to hell, I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm going to go down that path. It was leading me into occultism. It was leading me into witchcraft. It was leading me into every type of darkness that you could think.
There was a time when Christopher Gregory wanted to live his life for God. He was just a boy when he asked Jesus into his heart.
And that evening, as I came home with my parents to the house, I stepped out of the car, and as my family walked into the house, and I looked up and I said, God, I'm only 8 years of age, but if you use me, I'll serve you.
10 years later, his father died.
The world stopped. For me, the world stopped. God, how could you do that? My family life is great, and me and my dad starting to communicate. We're starting to have a relationship, and now he's gone. I just shut everything down and said, I'm done. Whatever hope that God had for me, I was going to destroy that.
He packed up his car and moved to Hollywood in search of a new life away from God.
I was full of anger. I was full of hate, and I was beginning to feed off of that. And the more that I left it unchecked, the more that it started taking over my life. That anger, that bitterness.
Before long, he worked his way into pornographic movie production. He created a new form of porn movie blending demonic horror and explicit sex.
So that I could take that and actually put it into my films to lift me up, and in the process destroy me, and also destroy others who are watching this stuff, who are getting caught into this.
He produced content for Larry Flynt and Hustler Video, among others. All the while, Christopher did his best to ignore the voice of God and the calling he once had.
I'm fighting what I know in my heart is right, but Satan is saying, don't listen to that. I've got something better. You want women? I'll give you women. If you want money, I'll give you money. But that's just the tip of it. I'll give you fame. I thought that the money and now the notoriety of what I was becoming in the industry would satisfy the void in my life, the hurt and the anger, but it didn't. I can't sleep. I can't hardly eat. I'm dying on the inside. And I'm hearing demonic voices talking about me. I go onto a movie set that I help create. I hire people and they build these, we shoot in a mansion. And we create this vampire project, and I'm there by myself, and I feel spirits around me. I feel this darkness starting to creep in, and I've got to leave. I was scared to be alone. I would have one-night stands, not for sex per se, because I didn't want to be alone.
His nights resembled the horror movies he made in the day. One night he had a vivid dream that he was in hell with demonic figures towering over him. He knew his life was drawing to an end. Christopher called out to God.
Everything that I have embedded into my life begins to surface. The hate, the bitterness, the anger, the resentment, the betrayal, the loneliness, the feeling of, God, why? And the Lord spoke to me and he said, because I love you. I care for you. I don't want you to die lost. And I just said, if you can still take me, forgive me. That moment, it just seemed like darkness left. Christ came into that room and he said, I forgive you. I love you. And from that moment, my life changed. He took me back. and I wept for, I think, 4 hours. I just wept I just wept. Everything was gone. My pain, everything. I go back to that 8-year-old boy and said, from this day, if you can use me, use me.
The next day, he shut down the projects he was working on and left the business of darkness in the past.
And I walked away from everything. People thought I was crazy, but you know, I can't go wrong serving God. And I didn't want, it just, my heart, I had a heart change.
Khristoffer is now an evangelist and missionary. His message is all about God's love and grace, even for those who have walked away.
He doesn't hate you. He went to a cross to die for us, so that when we do make mistakes, when we do sin, that we will come to know Him and His love and His grace and His mercy. I want people to see that there's hope, that there's grace, that there's mercy. He can take a shattered life, broken life, filled with bitterness and anger, betrayal and hurt, and make something beautiful out of that.